Hey guys, it's Milana. In today's video, I will be showing you guys 10 of my favorite Netflix shows to watch. Now, before we get into the video, I just want to let you all know that it's definitely aimed towards a more female audience than a male audience, to be more specific. So if you're interested in any of that, just go ahead and keep on watching. Alright guys, some of these TV shows do have multiple seasons to it, but I will only tell the beginning of season 1 for each TV show. So the first show I'm going to start off with is Good Girls. It's about 3 average moms that are just having a really hard time providing for all of their families. So 2 of the 3 moms, 2 of them are sisters and 1 of them is just a friend, but they're all super close. One of them, they work at a local supermarket and she's just like, I am just tired of just living paycheck to paycheck. Why don't we just go ahead and rob my job? I know where all the cameras are, I know all the codes to the back room, I got it all down. So they go ahead and make this huge plan to rob their local supermarket, and they go in, rob everything, grab the money. They were successful, I would say, but they were not successful at finding out where all of that money, who it really belongs to. So I will just leave it at that. After they stole that money, everything went downhill. So, it has 3 seasons to this show. Second show that I have is Altered Carbon. This show is about society being 400 years into the future, so all of our bodies are interchangeable and nobody can die unless you take the chip out of your neck. So, almost like robots, I guess. But this show is about a soldier who got resurrected by this really rich man to go ahead and solve his murder. So this guy that got resurrected, he is like an elite warrior, and he was the only one that got chosen to solve this murder. This show is really intense and really good. I feel like it's definitely underrated, so this show has 2 seasons to it. The third show is The Umbrella Academy. So this show starts off as 43 women around the world giving birth. None of them knew that they were pregnant until it happened. So this guy, he goes up to 6 of those women, he's like, how much do you want for the baby? So he goes and adopts 6 of those children, all with their own different superpowers. A little backstory. One of them has the ability to jump into the future or into the past, so he's able to time hop. So one of the children that is able to do that, he jumps into the future and he finds out there's about to be an apocalypse that happens in 8 days, so we need to go ahead and try to save the world before then. So I'm just going to leave it at that so I don't ruin anything else, but this show has 2 seasons to it. The fourth show is The 100. So society is up living in space for quite some time. Eventually, they came to a conclusion, you know what, we're running out of supplies and oxygen up here. It's not going to be survivable much longer. So they go ahead and make a decision to send 100 kids, and when I say kids, I don't mean like 5-year-olds, I mean like teenagers, grown adults, but not like middle-aged people. So they go ahead and send 100 kids down to Earth to see if it's survivable again. But the thing is, these kids didn't even know that they were going to another planet. They just thought, oh, we're just prepping for something, but we don't know what it is. So they go ahead and send 100 kids down to Earth to see if it's survivable. But they also encounter all of these enemies, learning to adapt to a new environment, learning how to farm, a whole bunch of different crazy things. I definitely would recommend this one. It has 7 seasons to it. The fifth show is The Haunting of Hill House. This is probably my favorite or best scariest TV show I've ever watched. So this show is basically about a family of 5 moving into this huge mansion because they're just going to re-renovate it and just sell it. But eventually there's a whole bunch of problems that occurs and they just have to stay longer than expected. So eventually there is a tragic loss that happened in the family and they decide, you know what, we are experiencing too much paranormal activity. This feeling in the house is not good, so we're just going to move away. So 26 years later, they have all moved out from the house, but eventually there was another tragic loss that happened, so they get reunited. But when they reunite, they have to go ahead and explain all the tragic things that happened in the past because of that house. So, I don't want to spoil anything else. This has 1 season only to it, but it is super good. The 6th show is Jane the Virgin. I absolutely love this show. I feel like it was definitely really dramatic, but super good. So this show is basically about Jane. She is a virgin waiting until marriage, but one day she goes to the doctor visit for just a normal, checkup. But the doctor, she was really drunk at the time and not knowing what she was doing, she accidentally artificially inseminated Jane. So she ended up getting pregnant, and ironically, the man that was supposed to be, the father of the child, it was actually one of her, I guess, childhood crushes that she actually kissed before. But that man is not her boyfriend. She actually has a different boyfriend. So it's really crazy and a lot of nonsense, but it's definitely really good and really dramatic. And also has 5 seasons to it. The seventh show is Money Heist. It's basically about the biggest heist in history. So it starts off as their leader named the Professor. He's a super big and huge criminal mastermind. So he goes up with this plan of robbing the royal mint of Spain, and he recruits 8 people that have nothing to lose, but they all have their own different fighting abilities as well. So 8 of these people, they go in and they rob the royal mint of Spain, and of course they take their hostages. So the day that they decide to do it, it's a pretty smart day, and you'll just see why. But basically, they're printing billions and billions of euros each and every single day while they are stayed and locked up in there. It's a really good show. It has 4 seasons to it. The 8th show is Ozark. So it's about this guy who is just a regular accountant at first. He goes and makes this money laundering scheme with this drug dealer, and eventually, after that laundering scheme, everything went downhill. So in order to protect his family and keep everyone safe around him, he had to do as the drug lord says. So he kept on moving money around and doing whatever else the drug lord needs to keep everyone safe, but he also has to be super careful because the government is after this guy. You know, he's legally an accountant, but he also does some sketchy stuff. So this has 3 seasons and it's a super good show. The 9th show is You. It's about this average everyday guy working at a local bookstore at first. He doesn't have a lot of romance in his life, and you will definitely see why. One day he comes across this customer who is also a writer, so they get along at first and he just lays eyes on her automatically. So he goes and stalks her, sees what she's doing on social media, checks up on her all the time. Wherever she goes, he will also be there, but in distance. So he decides, you know what, in order to just have her in my life and to just love me, I'm going to remove any obstacle and any person that gets in my way. He is a psychopath and he is crazy for love. This has 2 seasons to it. And last but not least, Grey's Anatomy. So this show is about a group of interns trying to become doctors at this hospital. One of the interns, her name is Meredith, and Meredith is the daughter of a famous surgeon. And also, her mother, I mean, she's still alive, but she doesn't really see her as much. Her mother also had a relationship with the chief of surgery, which is Dr. Weber. So she's trying to maintain her relationships and trying to keep the status of her famous mother as well. And all the interns encounter so many different crazy just situations trying to become a doctor. There isn't even really like a specific way for me to narrow it down, but this show has so many crazy and intense things that I can't even really explain it. You just kind of have to watch it. But this has 16 seasons to it, and I will definitely say I haven't watched all 16, but I've watched a good majority of it. Alright guys, I know that there are so many TV shows out on Netflix that I haven't mentioned, but you definitely should go ahead and comment down below what is your favorite TV shows to watch, so I can see if there are new TV shows I can watch or if maybe I've already watched it. But definitely comment down below. And also, please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. That always helps me and my channel out, as well as hitting the subscribe button down below so you can go ahead and join the family here. I post on every single Sunday. Until next time, I will see you all in my next video.